Okay, time for another weekly news recap, and we have some Maschine news, an update to Ableton's iOS app Note that we missed last week with all the hype around Ableton Move. Roland are releasing another limited edition of the SP-404 Mark II, Computer Music Magazine will no longer be published, and some cool new plugin releases, so let's dive in. So let's start with the Maschine news, and Native Instruments have announced that they will be ending support for their oldest controllers, the Maschine MK1 and Mark II, and the Micro Mark I and Mark II, which were released between 13 and 15 years ago. You can read the full statement on the community forum, but essentially from November 6th onwards, these older controllers will not be getting any software updates, so they won't work with the upcoming Maschine 3 update. They will, however, continue to work with Maschine 2 software, so they won't suddenly become unusable, contrary to some wild interpretations I saw among users online. No more updates means that they may eventually stop working if a macOS or Windows update breaks compatibility, and let's face it, this will happen sooner on the Mac rather than on Windows, but if you don't update your OS, you will be fine. Now the good news is that Maschine Jam, Maschine Studio, Maschine Micro Mark III, the regular Maschine Mark III and Maschine Plus are still supported, so they will all work with the 3.0 update, and Native Instruments have no plans to stop supporting these devices. Their statement reads, "Technologies and software evolve on a near exponential scale, while hardware products remain in a time capsule of how they were originally built. That introduces certain limitations on what we can do on the software side while still supporting these devices. As with all businesses, our resources are finite. So to continue improving Maschine and to develop new features, we need to part ways with some of the older products." So as much as owners of these old controllers won't be happy, I think this is not a surprise. It's kind of normal for such old devices to be dropped at some point. But the good news is that Maschine Studio and Maschine Jam, which aren't the newest devices, will still get support way into the future and will work with the Maschine 3 update. Of course, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for videos on the Maschine 3 update as it gets its long anticipated release in November. Now, with all the hype around Ableton Move, we somehow missed a small but important update to their iOS app, Ableton Note. So this app is in fact the actual engine that powers Ableton Move, and last week it got a free update, version 1.2, which adds enhancements to the drum sampler, the effects and the arpeggiator, and plus a lot of new sound content, and also the ability to share sets with the new Move device. Ableton Cloud is enhanced as well, now supporting up to 8 sets instead of 5. So if you don't want to spend the $450 on a new shiny toy to use as a sketchpad for your Ableton Live project, Note has you covered provided you have an iOS device. As for Ableton Move, the negativity that I saw in comments has now subsided as people are actually using it, and it turns out it's not that bad after all. I've read a lot of comments on Reddit, and it seems that most people that own one are very happy with it, and even people who aren't completely happy aren't super negative. I got mine a couple of days ago and enjoyed it as well. You can check out the video of my first impressions on the channel, or I will link it in the video description down below. So in our next tutorial, Roland have released another limited edition of the SP-404 Mark II, and this one is the KDJ Records limited edition, and it celebrates electronic music legend Kenny Dixon Jr., aka Moody Man. So besides the unique faceplate, the SP-404 Mark II KDJ Records limited edition comes with a 7-inch vinyl record featuring never before heard edits of famous Moody Man tracks and exclusive sound content straight from the label. It's limited to just 600 units worldwide, and the price is $600 as well, which isn't bad considering the last limited edition they dropped, the Stone's Throw limited edition, was priced at $900, and unsurprisingly, even though it was only a small number of units as well, it's still in stock in a lot of places. More news from Native Instruments, and you would think that after releasing Complete 15 they would chill a bit, but no, they just dropped a new expansion and a new Play Series instrument capturing the vibes of New Orleans ambience hip-hop. The Play Series instrument is called Rule and the expansion is Brass and Bounce. Remember, these are no longer called Maschine expansions, but they integrate perfectly with Maschine, and with the newly released Kontakt 8, they show up in Kontakt's browser as well. Or you can load the kits in battery. And these are on sale now, so if you buy one of them, you get the other for half price. Link will be down in the video description if you want to check them out. In other news, the biggest plugin release of the week is by Baby Audio, and they have updated their Transit multi-effect plugin that's made in collaboration with Andrew Huang to version 2. Transit 2 builds on the foundations of the first version with 6 motion modes, macro, LFO, follower, sidechain, gate, and sequencer, and a total of 28 effects modules, including new additions like warp and retroverb. It has a huge amount of presets and a flexible randomization engine aimed at simplifying complex transitions. The demo sounds very cool, and it's on sale now for $79 with an upgrade option for existing users at $29, which is honestly a very fair price for what you get, and you can check it out from the link to Plugin Boutique down in the description as well. Alright, so some news from Akai as well, and a third version of the MPC3 beta is now available. The new additions are greater flexibility for track mutes, an option to export drum pads as separate stems, which to be honest I'm surprised that this wasn't possible before, and faster sample loading, and also you can now install the beta over Wi-Fi. So the MPC3 beta is shaping up to be really good, judging by the features that they're adding and how the user interface looks, but honestly I have no experience with it yet. And UVI have updated their super powerful hybrid instrument Falcon to version 3.1, which is a free update for users of version 3. So it adds an all-new browser with a modern and fully featured interface for users to navigate their sounds and presets, with improved search, tags, favorites, and an optimized layout. And something that I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have before, they now have audio previews in the browser. I actually thought all modern platforms had that, but hey, better late than never. Until November 4th you can get it for 50% off, so $149 instead of $299, and they've also released 2 new expansions. Modular Drums, which the name kind of says it all, and Pulsación, which features construction kits for Latin music. So Latin music and modular sounds like a great combo. In other news, Computer Music magazine will no longer be published. It's closing down, and this happens just 1 month after its sister magazine, Future Music, did the same. Editor Andy Price said of the closure, "Back when we first started, computer music making was still something of a novel, new approach for the aspiring producer. This magazine saw the echoes of today's software-dominated landscape in those pioneering early programs. We weren't wrong, were we? Sadly, the cost of print has increased substantially in recent years, and it became clear that the best strategy was to consolidate computer music's content and spirit into musicradar.com alongside our sister title, Future Music, meaning that computer music's expert opinion and knowledge will continue to live online." I've actually learned a lot from this magazine, and the fact that it came with a DVD full of plugins and samples helped me transition from using extended free trials to actually using only legit software when I could afford to buy it. But I guess it's a tough time for print media, so this closure is not surprising at all. So that's all for this week's news. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you find these videos valuable and you want to get them in your YouTube feed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace!